The second big part of this whole money making process or having max gold is really avoiding losing money. Um, so, for example, let's just try to show something that I could lose money off of. I have an animal eye I could sell. Let's just say I come into the sell window. Great, I could sell it for 72 cents. So I've won. Hit sell. Wait a second. This listing fee is worth more than the item. I'm locking in a for sure chance of losing money. And then it might not even sell and I might just pay the listing fee. And what's kind of even worse here is because I'm selling something that's so little value, it also takes one of my buy and order sell slots. So this is like really bad. You can change the time to list, which will change the listing fee. But even like right then off this item, it's very little profit. I have a chance at making basically 9 cents, but I know I'm going to be paying 63 cents. That's just completely worthless. In terms of strategy, I sometimes do like to be the lowest price, but it depends on the item. Like, let's just say I'm selling Greenwood and I'm not competing against an absolute huge available amount as the lowest price. I could list it the same as the lowest price. I think these are kind of minute points that don't matter all too much in terms of strategy when you flip items, but just something to keep in mind a little bit there. Another item I think is kind of relevant for this point. I was just looking at this. Let's just say I'm selling Brilliant Aquamarine. It's 4.99. Again, I wouldn't waste a slot with a sell order with just one on me. I would want, I don't know, like to make a couple $100, so I'd need like a decent amount of Brilliant Aquamarine before I actually want to sell it. But let's just say I wanted to sell this. It's for 4.99. The list fee is 2.60. Current buy order is 4.40. This is a pretty tight gap. If you were to sell it at the current buy order, that would obviously be best. And if even if you were to go down to like a 3-day listing fee, which I feel like a decent number of people will do, it's actually still not too great in this case. Um, and this could be done on a large scale too. So you just want to be a little careful of this listing fee. Try not to sell things that are very unvaluable. I think that also goes back to one of my first points that I opened up with the video is don't waste time in this game. And this could be a time suck of like selling all these little things that really make very little gold and is not going to help you out. I know some people will really just want to clean out their inventory and will, you can sell it for just like the best buy order. You can. I think you should probably stock up on some stuff that have like a little bit of value and sell it, like maybe mass sell it in like a large batch as a sell order in the future. But it's going to be a little personal preference on that side. Just watch out for those listing fees. I think another obviously big point is when you craft things in the game. I'll just go back to Ironwood Planks because that's a nice end use game that we've just used. But let's just say I could put in buy order for $10.33 rather than buying this 13.10, which is just only 3, and then I'll inevitably start taking out all the inventory. And depending on how much I'm crafting and depending on the sell orders at the time, I could really start blowing through all those prices and spending a ton. So I could be spending maybe, let's just call it 40% more or something, depending on how much ironwood I'm buying. If I'm trying to craft a ton of items, that really adds up. That could have been 40% more experience. Even if you're totally going for experience as a gameplay style rather than like maximizing money, that's something really smart to watch out for is place buy orders when you're trying to craft up, especially when you're spending, let's just say like 10% of your gold or whatever it is. Like you're spending a good chunk of your gold trying to craft an item to get your skill level up. Put in a buy order. Do it just a tad bit slower. Like wait a day to craft the item the next day. That's probably what a lot of this will amount to. Or, maybe you don't even wait a day. Maybe it's an hour depending on the item or how busy your server is. Maybe it's a couple of days depending if it's really weird. But like placing a buy order definitely helps out. You don't get the immediate gratification of crafting something instantly, but in the long run, it'll save you a ton of money. It'll give you a lot more experience, in your crafting, which is probably what you ultimately want. So I think that's another way that people really, 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 really dump money down the drain in crafting, rather than like even crafting inefficiently, like crafting the wrong items. Um, I think this is a whole separate video, but basically, let's just say if you're leveling up armoring, maybe the smartest way potentially could be crafting gloves, but you're crafting um, like orichalcum armor, and like the price and how much experience you're getting is really bad, or you're like crafting like iron armor and you're near max level, like you're taking the approach the totally wrong way. That's something also else to watch out for, but I think a lot more people are aware of that. And lastly, I've been kind of at fault at this as well, but changing your mind too often when you're buying like really like expensive gear for yourself. Like let's just say I'm trying to buy like a 600 set, and I don't know, I'm buying profane set of gear or something, and I'm trying to get like accelerating lights of embrace, but then I realize, hey, I'm not going to use that perk tomorrow. I want to use this other perk, and you buy another set of gear for that perk, and next day you're trying to maximize focus on it. Trying to figure out what you want to use and your role play, like whether you want PvP gear or PvE gear, this will all start changing your mind, and trying to avoid kind of expensive things like dumping money down the drain on just like maybe so-so gear, or gear that's not entirely relevant to you. Like this, for example, this luck gear, really not ideal having luck on a set if you're doing PvP or something. It's not a stat that's helping you out. Maybe if you're out in the open world, it would be nice to have some luck on if you're like opening up a ton of chests. But, you know, maybe if you're trying to save a budget, you could even have luck, but it's not a 600 piece, and it's something quite similar. These are all kind of smart ways to try to save money and effectively get the same thing. I think you just have to be a little bit careful about dumping money down the drain on armor pieces that aren't really ideal for what you're doing, and kind of figuring out what actually is ideal in any given case. Like if I'm doing, I don't know, a Genesis run, I know I need like Angry Earthbane on my weapon. So I at least want to start there. Maybe I'm having easy time with Genesis, and maybe I'll want like luck on my armor pieces to run that dungeon. I think just kind of figuring out what exactly you want to do in the game, what you want to use the armor piece for, is going to really help you kind of avoid a huge money pitfall, is spending too much cash on stuff that is kind of useless in the way that you're playing the game. So I think that's really the major ways that I think you guys can either make money, lose money. I know it was a longer video. It was just a decent amount of stuff I think you could, as I wanted to cover, to kind of convey the fact that you can approach gold cap on your own without doing anything too funny, like owning a town and charging huge taxes like these Cutlass Key guys are. Like, they're probably doing something a little fishy. I think they're probably like listing it in high trading tax. And, you know, it's probably not a surprise that these Banala guys have a town where they have max taxes and low taxes. There's some fishy ways. I think some guys have tried to make money owning towns and running a server. You don't need to do that to make a lot of cash in the game. I think if you're playing it, you're going to do pretty well. And I hope this helps out and gives some nice pointers. I think this is a lot of stuff that I've tried to figure out what's probably most important in a video. If you guys have any other questions on how to make money, I've probably have thought about it and have found some like obscure things. Like, I don't know, let's just say like if you're trying to find Tarragon, like Tarragon might only spawn basically in Reekwater, and there's like a plant in Brightwood. So Tarragon's going to be expensive, just kind of naturally, and food associated with Tarragon is going to be expensive. Just like knowing some very odd specific things are going to help out. But I hope this video helped you out find a more general approach, because totally these market prices in general will change throughout time. So it'll be hard to tell anyone to flip any particular item. And obviously, there's a lot of different servers, so your economy is slightly going to be different. But the same idea applies that when there's max orders in a system, the market's going to be pretty inefficient because someone like me who's buying and selling a lot of stuff, they just can't make every single item that efficient in terms of pricing, and they can't. And then you have max storage space, which kind of I've been running into a problem with. Like for example, in First Light, I've just like maxed out this town with just food items. Far from ideal in terms of like. And I hope more and more of you have that problem. And who knows? I think as this also happens, I think the market will become a little bit more inefficient, and the next person can make even that much more money. So thank you for watching until the end of the video, and good luck.